In Heartland Season 16 Episode 3, one of Sam's rescued horses is being trained to rope by Amy and Caleb, while Jack and Tim debate about what will happen to Blue. Going river rafting leads Katie and Logan on a bigger adventure than they anticipated. We spotted Amy riding along at the start of the episode and then ran across Caleb and Sam as they were loading hay into Caleb's truck. Sam is giving the rodeo school some more hay. Caleb recommended that Sam make at least one of the rescue horses living on his ranch into a roping horse for the rodeo school after Sam revealed to him and Amy that he didn't see much use for the horses. Caleb initially wished to participate in the training. Sam asked Amy to assist with Hawk after Hawk threw Caleb when he rode too quickly and began swinging his rope before the horse got used to it. They started working together as a result. Being the cowboy he is, Caleb wanted to skip right to the fun part, but Amy knew there had to be a few stages in between after seeing Hawk in action. After getting Hawk accustomed to the rope, Amy instructed Caleb to swing it slowly and toss it at the dummy. But instead of the steer dummy, Caleb threw it at a nearby standing Sam. However, Amy discovered Caleb speeding up after lunch and wanted to show what Hawk could do while moving by roping a steer dummy as Sam was towing it behind the ATV. However, Amy sensed that wasn't the best of plans. Amy reasoned that perhaps the horse needed to become accustomed to cattle in a calm environment before you could start roping steers on it because Hawk startled as soon as Caleb moved. Hawk did a great job when Amy brought him out to help Jack round up his herd. Amy may thus try roping a steer the following day. She was successful, too. Hawk seems to have adjusted to steers and his new job as a roper. Sam honored his word and prepared lunch for Caleb, Amy, and Lindy, even though Caleb lost their wager that he could train Hawk to be a roping horse because Amy worked with Hawk instead. In the course of their conversation over burgers with Amy, Sam and Caleb, Sam disclosed that he had been feeling rather meaningless lately as well. Sam explained to Amy and Caleb what he meant when he said that even though he purchased Big River Ranch to enjoy some privacy and serenity, recently Sam has begun to worry that his life may be a bit too peaceful. Fortunately, Caleb and Amy were there for their friend, and Caleb proposed that Sam volunteer at the rodeo school so that Sam could feel like a contributing member of society once more. Sam was formerly a professional athlete, so the rodeo school pupils would undoubtedly look up to him. They even received Tim's approval for Sam to volunteer at the rodeo school, and later Caleb and Amy taught Sam how to swing a rope in order to get him ready for his new volunteer position. Heartland Season 16 Episode 3 featured another horse-related plot arc with Blue, the cow-sensed stallion Jack acquired from Stumpy and gentled. Tim was adamant about having Blue as a horse that they might lend out to hired ranch hands when the need arose, since Jack purchased it with funds from Heartland Beef. But when Tim persisted on riding Blue to give his horse Champ a break and promptly fell off, he realized that Blue wouldn't be suitable for that reason and began discussing selling Blue. Jack naturally declined, claiming that Blue only need the appropriate rider. Tim, though, also had a point. It's possible that Blue wasn't the kind of horse that could be transferred from rider to rider. Instead, he just needed to go to a home where he would have a single trusted rider. However, Tim came up with a scheme to locate Blue a new home behind Jack's back rather than attempting to persuade him any further. Despite Amy reminding Tim that Blue is Jack's horse and not just a ranch horse, and despite Jack having already vowed to attempt to make Blue comfortable around other riders. Despite the fact that Russ was actually a potential buyer for Blue, Tim told Jack that he hired him to assist him separate the heifers from the steers. Since he was aware that they didn't require the additional assistance, Jack naturally had a feeling that something was amiss. However, Tim persisted with his strategy. Jack also gave Russ permission to assist them because he believed that it was merely a test to observe how Blue performs with another rider. Nevertheless, as soon as Jack moved away from Tim and Russ, you could overhear Russ remarking on what a magnificent-looking horse Blue is. Unfortunately for Tim, later on in the day Russ stopped being so tactful, and Jack overheard him tell Tim that he understood what he was saying about Blue being a fantastic cattle horse. So, the game was over. Tim was forced to tell Jack that Russ had come to look at Blue. Jack was taken aback by Tim's scheme and, in order to calm himself down and refrain from yelling at Tim straight now, he rode off to check the fence line. Jack and Tim spoke after Jack regained his composure. Tim then revealed to Jack his true motivation for wanting to sell Blue. It was more about the possibility of Blue injuring Jack than it was about Blue hurting someone else. That made Jack pause. And although he had to take that possibility into account, later, he even told Tim he appreciated his worry. Jack also had faith in Blue. Jack therefore knew what he had to do when Blue had proven himself at the river, more on that later. Jack gave Tim $100, the same sum Heartland Beef paid Stumpy for Blue, and declared Blue to be his own horse. After Paint's arthritis became so terrible that the horse could scarcely stand, Jack had to put Paint down in season 9, and the episode concluded with Jack taking Blue to Paint's final resting place to meet him. Katie and Parker were seen having lunch at Maggie's early on in the show. When Logan arrived, Katie was ranting to Parker about how she believes Lou is only calling her because she has to, and not because Lou really wants to connect with her daughter. When Parker questioned Logan about what was wrong, Logan replied that his friend Miles had backed out of their plans to go rafting to celebrate their graduation. Parker recommended that they go on a picnic to commemorate their high school graduation because he and Katie both understood how significant it is. Naturally, Logan wasn't really excited about a picnic, but he accepted anyhow. But Katie had a better suggestion. Why don't they all go rafting? Logan agreed since he liked the concept. Parker, however, who has always been the responsible member of the group, immediately backed out of the river rafting, informing Katie that her parents would not permit it. Parker didn't think Lou would approve of Katie leaving, either. Fortunately for Katie, Lou wasn't really paying attention to what Katie was saying because she was in Vancouver and preoccupied with work emails. Following Lou's apparent failure to understand Katie when she informed her that there was a roach in their lunchtime fries, Katie was able to ask Lou whether she could go rafting with Logan without Lou, even realizing what she had actually consented to. Logan was delighted when Katie revealed to him and Parker that Lou had in fact approved of her trip. Parker attempted to dissuade Katie from traveling by citing the number of individuals who perish in maritime accidents each year, but it was unsuccessful. Katie denied Parker by expressing that she only wants to celebrate Logan's graduation by doing something special, despite Parker's attempts to dissuade her from going by suggesting that she might be the one harboring a crush on Logan. They would also, as a compromise, go on the picnic Parker suggested near the location where Katie and Logan intend to end their rafting excursion. The day of the rafting excursion finally arrived, and even though Lou nearly caught Katie by calling her just as they climbed into the inflatable raft, Katie was able to persuade Lou that she was only going on a picnic with Parker and Logan. Logan and Katie then left. The two were doing well at the beginning of the trip, and they even started talking about how uncaring their parents had been, with Logan urging Katie not to exclude Lou and Peter. However, when they arrived to the location where Parker was waiting for them, the two realized that they had passed the pull-out location and were no longer able to exit the river. They were forced to descend the rapids as a result. The two, however, were unable to negotiate the rapids and crashed on a log before capsizing. They were fortunate to have another wood to hang onto, but it didn't seem like they would endure for very long. Parker then made a helpline call to Amy. Sam, who was still with Amy and learning how to toss a rope, and Amy ran to the river, but Jack, whom Amy contacted en route and who was closer, arrived first. When Jack came, he tossed his rope at Katie and dragged her to the shore after helping Katie to remain calm and hold on for a little while. By this time, Amy and Sam had arrived, so Amy followed suit and helped Logan out of the rapids, while Sam assisted the two teenagers in getting out of the water. Because Katie and Logan were unharmed, their small rafting mishap came to a successful conclusion. But when it came to securing Lou's okay to go rafting, Katie did get in trouble for exploiting the circumstance. Therefore, in the upcoming episodes, we'll presumably see how that affects Katie's summer vacation and how much wiggle room Lou now allows her.